In our fast-paced world, nutrition often takes a back seat. We are bombarded with quick fixes and processed foods, promising convenience and satisfaction. But at what cost? The truth is, our bodies are complex machines that require a delicate balance of nutrients to function optimally. Neglecting this fundamental need can have detrimental consequences, leading to a cascade of health problems. Many of us are living lives increasingly detached from the natural world and the sources of our sustenance. This disconnect has led to a rise in nutritional deficiencies, often going unnoticed until serious health issues arise. It's time we recognize the urgency of prioritizing nutrition, not just for ourselves, but for future generations. We must reclaim our health by understanding the profound impact that food has on our well-being. Emma, a young woman in her early 20s, found herself caught in the whirlwind of modern life. Every day felt like a race against time, with each moment meticulously planned yet always falling short of her expectations. Working long hours at a demanding job, she juggled deadlines and meetings, constantly feeling the pressure to succeed. The weight of her responsibilities seemed to grow heavier with each passing day, leaving her little room to breathe. In the chaos of her daily routine, meals became an afterthought. She often found herself eating on the go, barely tasting her food as she rushed from one task to the next. The joy of a leisurely meal was a distant memory.
Breakfast was often skipped, replaced by a hurried cup of coffee. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee was the only comfort she allowed herself in the morning, a small solace in her otherwise hectic schedule. Lunch consisted of whatever was quickest and most convenient, usually fast food or a prepackaged salad. She would eat at her desk, multitasking between bites, her mind always on the next meeting or deadline.
Dinner, when she had time for it, was often another rushed affair. A frozen meal or takeout, eaten in front of the television while catching up on work emails. The idea of cooking a nutritious meal seemed like an unattainable luxury. Emma justified her poor eating habits by telling herself it was just a temporary phase, a necessary sacrifice on her path to success. She believed that her hard work and dedication would eventually pay off, allowing her to reclaim her time and health. She believed that once she achieved her goals, she would have more time to focus on her health. The vision of a successful future kept her going, even as her body began to show signs of wear and tear. What Emma didn't realize was that her neglect of nutrition was slowly chipping away at her well-being, setting the stage for a silent struggle within her body. The fatigue, the stress, and the constant rush were taking a toll, one that she couldn't afford to ignore for much longer. Her body was sending her signals, subtle at first, but growing louder with each passing day. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that success should not come at the cost of her health. Initially, the signs were subtle, easy to dismiss. They crept in slowly, almost imperceptibly, blending into the background of daily life. Emma started experiencing persistent fatigue, even after a full night's sleep. No matter how long she rested, she woke up feeling just as tired as when she went to bed. Her usual energy and enthusiasm waned, replaced by a constant feeling of exhaustion. Activities she once enjoyed now felt like burdens, and even simple tasks seemed overwhelming. She found it increasingly difficult to concentrate at work, her mind feeling foggy and sluggish. Tasks that once took minutes now stretched into hours, and her productivity plummeted. Irritability became a common occurrence, her fuse shortening with each passing day. Small annoyances that she would have brushed off before now triggered intense frustration.
Are you feeling all right, Emma? You look a bit run down. Her colleagues and friends began to notice the changes, their concern growing with each passing day.
Friends and colleagues noticed the change in her demeanor, commenting on her pale complexion and lackluster appearance. Her once vibrant personality seemed to have dimmed.
Are you feeling all right, Emma? You look a bit run down. The repeated questions only added to her frustration, making her feel even more isolated.
But Emma would brush off their worries, attributing her symptoms to stress and overwork. She convinced herself that it was just a phase, something that would pass with time. She convinced herself that a few extra cups of coffee would solve the problem, unaware that her body was sending her desperate pleas for nourishment. The caffeine provided a temporary boost, but the underlying fatigue remained.
It's just stress and overwork, she would tell herself, trying to ignore the growing list of symptoms. Nothing a little coffee can't fix. But deep down, she knew that something was wrong, that her body was trying to tell her something important. Emma began to notice patterns in her fatigue, realizing that it wasn't just about lack of sleep or stress. There were days when she felt completely drained, unable to muster the energy for even the simplest tasks. She started to see the physical changes too, the dark circles under her eyes, the pallor of her skin. It was as if her body was slowly shutting down, one symptom at a time. Desperate for answers, Emma turned to the internet, searching for explanations for her symptoms. But the more she read, the more confused and worried she became. Finally, she decided to seek professional help, making an appointment with her doctor. It was a step she had been avoiding, but she knew it was necessary. During the appointment, Emma described her symptoms in detail, hoping for some clarity. The doctor listened carefully, taking notes and asking questions. After a thorough examination and some tests, the doctor provided a diagnosis. It was a relief to finally have an explanation, but it also meant that Emma had to make some changes to her lifestyle. Determined to regain her health, Emma committed to making those changes. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was ready to take control of her well-being. With the support of her friends, family, and healthcare professionals, Emma began her journey to recovery. It was a long road ahead, but she was hopeful and determined to reclaim her life.
What Emma didn't realize was that her diet, dominated by processed foods, was deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber. These convenience foods, laden with artificial additives, preservatives, and unhealthy fats, provided empty calories that did little to nourish her body. The lack of fresh fruits, vegetables, and whole grains in her diet created a nutritional imbalance, starving her cells of the vital nutrients they needed to function correctly. The overabundance of sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats in processed foods further exacerbated the situation. These ingredients wreaked havoc on her metabolism, leading to weight gain and increased inflammation throughout her body. Her skin, once radiant and clear, became dull and prone to breakouts. Dark circles appeared under her eyes, a testament to the internal struggle her body was facing. As the nutritional deficiencies took hold, Emma's emotional health began to deteriorate. The once vibrant and optimistic young woman found herself grappling with anxiety, her thoughts racing with worry and apprehension. She experienced sudden mood swings, her emotions fluctuating unpredictably throughout the day. Simple tasks that once brought her joy now felt overwhelming, leaving her feeling defeated and drained.
A profound sense of detachment settled over me. I withdrew from social gatherings, finding it exhausting to engage in conversations or pretend to be cheerful. My relationships with friends and family suffered, leaving my loved ones bewildered by my sudden transformation. I felt like a prisoner in my own body, trapped in a cycle of fatigue, anxiety, and despair.
Unbeknownst to her, the root of her emotional turmoil lay in the nutritional deficiencies that had taken hold of her body. The impact of poor nutrition extended beyond Emma's emotional well-being, manifesting in a decline in her physical health. Her muscles, once strong and resilient from regular exercise, began to weaken. She noticed a significant decrease in her stamina, finding it difficult to climb stairs or walk for extended periods without feeling breathless. Even simple household chores left her feeling exhausted and depleted.
My sleep patterns became increasingly disrupted. I would lie awake at night, my mind racing with anxious thoughts, only to wake up feeling groggy and unrefreshed. The lack of essential nutrients had thrown my body into a state of disarray, affecting every aspect of my physical functioning. My once active lifestyle had dwindled into a shadow of its former self, my body struggling to keep up with the demands I placed upon it.
Perhaps the most alarming consequence of Emma's poor nutrition was the impact on her immune system. Her diet, lacking in essential nutrients, had begun to take a serious toll on her overall health. Deprived of the essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants needed to function optimally, her body's natural defense mechanisms weakened, leaving her susceptible to infections. The lack of these critical nutrients meant that her immune system couldn't mount a proper defense against the myriad of pathogens she encountered daily. She became a regular visitor to the doctor's office, plagued by frequent colds, flus, and other minor ailments that seemed to linger longer than usual. Each visit to the doctor brought new prescriptions and advice, but without addressing the root cause, her poor diet, Emma found herself in a never-ending cycle of illness.
Each illness took a toll on her already depleted energy reserves. further compromising her ability to fight off infections. The fatigue was overwhelming, making it difficult for her to keep up with daily tasks and responsibilities. Her work suffered, and her social life dwindled as she struggled to muster the energy to engage with friends and family. Her body, starved of the nutrients it needed to heal, struggled to recover, leaving her feeling trapped in a vicious cycle of illness and exhaustion. Each bout of sickness seemed to last longer than the previous one, and the recovery periods grew increasingly extended. The lack of proper nutrition not only affected her physical health, but also took a toll on her mental well-being, leading to feelings of frustration and hopelessness.
Emma's weakened immune system served as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of nutrition and health. It became clear that without addressing her dietary deficiencies, her health would continue to decline. The importance of a balanced diet, rich in vitamins and minerals, could not be overstated, highlighting the crucial role that a balanced diet plays in maintaining a robust immune response. Fresh fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains are not just components of a healthy diet, they are the building blocks of a strong immune system. Emma's journey underscored the need for a holistic approach to health, where nutrition plays a central role in overall well-being.